All right, it's 1 o'clock. It's time for us to get started. And certainly, if we're going to be talking about productivity, we need to start on time. So, this is 1010 Productivity. So glad that you were able to come out today. If you're watching the replay, glad that you're able to make time. This is going to be super concise. I'm not going to be spending all day talking about productivity, but instead give you just a couple of things that are going to allow you to ratchet it up and really be focused and get a lot more done in less time, or at least in the process of deciding what you should be doing, eliminating the things that you don't need to be focused on, and then giving you a framework to use that is going to allow you to really produce something that is going to be strong and accurate for your life. So let's get started. I wanted us to look at three things today. Number one is becoming a time steward. Number two is the inverted priority pyramid. And number three is the four quadrant framework. Now, that sounds like a lot, but actually it's not. We're going to begin with a biblical base of becoming a time steward. This is from Matthew 25:14 through 30. Most of us are familiar with this being the parable of the talents, or the parable of the bag of gold, as some will actually label it. And the reason that I feel like this is so important is that a few months ago, there was an area that I was not really focusing on. I wasn't really producing a lot in this particular, I guess, calling, or what others felt like was a calling as well. So I was talking to my best friend, and she said, I never figured you for a digger. And when she said digger, I knew exactly what she meant. And that's the guy that ended up burying the one talent. And then he ends up getting this really rough label. So let's read the story, just get a couple of points from it before we move into some techniques you can use to become highly productive. So this is Matthew 25, starting verse 14. Again, it's like a man who was going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. And I think that word entrusted is really huge, that we've been giving something that requires responsibility and requires effort. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. According to his ability is another big frame here. So it's entrusted, but only according to his ability. Now, we say here in the States that all men are created equal, but the truth is, when it comes to talents, and even when it comes to our time, it's not equal for everybody. But the good thing is that we're not being held accountable on equal portions. We're being held accountable according to our ability level. Then he went on his journey. The man who received 5 bags went and put the money to work and gained 5 more. The one with 2 bags gained 2 more. And the man who received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. And the man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I've gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold came and said, look, you've entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. I've gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. Verse 24, then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came and said, Master, I knew you were a hard man, harvesting where you had not sown, gathering where you had not scattered seed. So I was afraid, and I went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. That's pretty tough, right? He was called lazy because he didn't even do the minimum. The master goes on to say you could have taken it to the bankers and at least earn an interest. When it comes to productivity, I think the number one stop is to think, I'm a time steward. I'm responsible for the time that I have, and I'm responsible for the time of others. When I'm speaking in front of a crowd, I don't look at it as 1 hour of time. I look at it as a multiple of that particular group. Let's say that I'm in front of 1,000 people and I don't do my best. Well, I didn't waste an hour. I wasted 1,000 man hours. They could have been out serving, doing something productive, etc. So one of my goals when I'm presenting is to make sure that I'm bringing enough value that it was worthy of the time that those people are willing to invest. So I'm a time steward not only of my own life, but I'm a time steward in the life of other people as well. So when it comes to being productive, we want to make sure that we've got our mindset on how do we make the most of this time. Now, we can get extreme and start thinking, well, every single moment counts. And we know that that's really impossible. I think that we need to make the intentional moments count. And if there's time that we're taking off or we're relaxing or we are taking a vacation, all of that is good. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. That's part of being a time steward as well. It's not that we never have downtime. It's that we are aware of our time, and whether we decide to take, quote, time off, or if we decide to be highly driven and compress time and get more done in an hour than we would have gotten done in 3 hours, either way, we're being a time steward because we're very conscious of the time that we're using. So I've got 2 tools for you today, and I want you to go and implement these immediately. Super quick. It's not going to take long at all, but I do believe that they'll be helpful to you. First is the inverted pyramid. And the way that we utilize this is that everything begins with our mission. Now, if you're following the 10-10 framework, our mission is that we're going to work and we're going to serve. That is what our life is all about. And you may have like a cooler mission statement than that. And you may even break down your mission into what you're doing with your body, your beliefs, and your business. And it may be that your mission right now is to grow your Facebook fan page, let's say. And so a task comes up that it's a brand new product that comes out that promises to teach you how to get more email subscribers. And that's not even your goal right now. So it's not your mission. And because it's not your mission, then you have to say no. And you're done. You're done with that decision. Is this my mission right now? No. But let's say that something came out that said, hey, I'm going to help you grow your Facebook group. Is that your mission? Yeah, it is. If your mission is to lose 10 pounds right now so that you can work harder, you can serve more effectively, and a book comes out on how to build muscle and you're going to be gaining fat at the same time and then you're going to whittle it down. Nope, that's a no. It's not your mission right now. So you use your mission as the first stop in your productivity cycle, in your decision cycle of should you do this. Secondly, am I the one that's supposed to do this? If you've got a business that you have people who work for you, it may not even be what you need to be focusing on. It may need to be somebody else. Or if you're at church and people are handing out assignments and you're like, well, you know what? I should sign up for this, but your mission right now is your family and that activity at church is going to take you away from them. So the question is it me? Am I the one that needs to do this thing? Am I the one that needs to be involved? And if the answer is no, decision's made and you move on. If, let's go back to that Facebook example, a product comes out, teach you how to gain fans, mission, yes. Are you the one in charge of that? Yes. All right, so you've got 2 yeses and you lead to the third one. Motion, is this a now thing or a later thing? Do I need to move on it right now or can it wait? If it can wait, then you're done with the decision. It meets the mission. It meets you as the source to carry the mission out. And number 3, it's not necessarily right now. Boom, it's a no. It's a no-go. You cross it off the list. You may put a date by it to use later on, but you don't have to do it right now. Well, let's say that it's a yes. Yes, it's your mission. Yes, you're the one that's supposed to do it. And yes, it is a now thing. Then it's a go. So it really needs to meet those 3 qualifications as much as possible to be in your life at this particular moment. One of the challenges with productivity is that we're saying yes to too many things that are actually no's, and we lose productivity on things that are important because we're spending time on things that we do not need to be focusing on at all. So mission, me, and motion are the way that the inverted pyramid works so that you can stay focused and get things done when you need to do them, and that you're doing them only because they're important right now. If they're not now things, put a date on them later on and go after it then. So mission, me, motion. Use those 3 qualifiers and you'll prevent your to-do list from getting too big, and you won't be spending time adding to your list things that don't even need to be on it. So the 4 frames. So these are the 4 quadrants that I like to use every single day to plan my day. If we're going to become productive, we need to know what we're doing, with, when, and wealth. And this, again, is a very, very simple process. I don't want you to spend a majority of your day planning your day out. On the left-hand column is your task or your action, the thing that you're going to be doing. What, with, when, and wealth. So in the task and action list, I may list everything I've got to do for that day, and then I'll bring them over. So let's say that one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to write a blog post. That's my what. With is how long is it going to take? 35 minutes. I need to write this down. The first time is guesswork. I may not know. Here's one of the biggest problems with productivity today is that people are not being specific. They're doing wide guesstimates without knowing exactly how much time it takes. So I'm going to write this blog post. I've seen people put down 2 hours before. You may not even need 2 hours. What if you only need 35 minutes? Now, you may put down 35 minutes and it took you 45 minutes. Well, then you got to make some adjustments so that next time you put down width, you've got the right number. So the amount of time that you put down the first time is going to be an experiment. It's going to be a guesstimate. And then after that, you're going to be able to be focused and you're going to be able to put down exact times. And the more exact time you can put in width, the more time you're going to control and the more productive you're going to become. Because you know what you're going to do and you know how long it's going to take to do it. That is critical. When is obviously when am I going to do it? Let's say I'm going to do it at 5 a.m. because I know nobody's going to interrupt me. My phone is not going to ring at 5 a.m. I'm not going to have a lot of personal emails at 5 a.m. because everybody is asleep that I'm associated with. So I'm going to write a blog post. It's going to be 35 minutes. That's how long it's going to take me. That's width. And when is 5 a.m. And then wealth. Why am I doing this? What is the result? It's going to increase my skill as a writer. It's going to help me hone my content and get a clearer voice so my skill improves. And then it's also going to impact my world. It's going to allow me to reach more people in an effective way and make a stronger impact by them reading these words, connecting with these words, and having that type of almost one-to-one experience without us talking on the phone, right? So if you'll do this for each one of your approved, do the inverted pyramid, the approved task, what, with, when, and wealth, then you will become so much more effective because you'll know what you're doing, how long it's going to take, when you're going to do it, and what is the overall purpose or result of it. So those are the 4 frames that you use every single day for your essential tasks so that you'll get more done in less time. Overall, guys, we've just got to make sure that we are accountable and responsible for our lives. We want to remain focused and we don't want to be out there digging a hole and burying our talent, but instead multiplying it. And the way that we're going to be able to do that best is when we take what we're able to do, make sure that it's on target with our current mission, and then put it in like that 4-frame framework so that we know what we're doing, how long it's going to take, when we're going to get it done, and what the result is going to be. That's literally how simple time management can be if we'll just focus on these handful of essentials. Well, thank you for taking this training. Be sure to actually apply it and feel free to ask any questions in the Facebook group. Until next time, success is not an accident. Live full and be blessed.